Okay, we're going to see if this one will work. And it's no big deal if it doesn't. So, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
So, I like that. A hearty good morning. I like that a lot. So this month, as we've been saying all morning, the spiritual power that we're focusing on is kind of an old-fashioned word. It's scriptural, but it's renunciation. That was the original, well, I'm not sure it was the original word because Charles Fillmore used both renunciation and elimination, which I'm not sure I like that word any better than renunciation. But it really just means release. It means it's about a certain kind of release, though, and we're going to talk about that. So it is the power. Could we turn these lights down a little bit? I think we can see this better. Lights down.
Lights or?
I need to be able to see, but I just think it's glaring on that a lot. Those lights. Can we turn those off?
You want the one on the fan off, or you want the?
I think you want the one on the fan off.
Yeah, I think I want the one on the fan off. Yes, that's the one that's glare. And that one too. I can see well, you may not be able to. I can see a glare. There, all the glare. I can see just fine because there's plenty of. Yeah, I can see just fine. So that's perfect. All right, so it is the power that allows us to let go of false beliefs and thoughts that are not for our highest good, and to replace them through transformation, one of my favorite words, with a pure, clear consciousness. Neville Goddard. How many of you have heard of Neville Goddard? He was pretty prolific in his writing. He was there in the mid-century in New Thought, and he wrote lots of things that are relevant for us in unity. In 1952, his book, The Power of Awareness, he wrote, "There is a great difference between resisting something and renouncing it. When you resist it, you give it your full attention. You continue to make it real. When you renounce it, you take your attention from it and give your attention to what you want." That's a pretty big difference. That's why we talk about non-resistance all the time. This is truly the power of letting go. It gives us the ability to say no to that which is not good for us and to forgive and release. It allows us to expand the good and the God in our lives. Renunciation is completely an inner process. It literally creates a vacuum. When you focus on what you want, everything else falls away. It makes more room for spiritual awareness. In Unity, we constantly tell you or ask you to be positive, to eliminate the negative thoughts and ideas in your life, and to focus on positive things. It's the power of renunciation that lets you do that. The thing that we most use renunciation for is to get rid of fears in our lives. In spirit, you can actually release a fear before the actual threat is removed. And therefore, you eliminate any power that threat has over you before it even happens. This is done with the statement, "I let go and I let God," and then relaxing physically and letting all concerns go. This works because since everything comes into existence through thought, belief, and faith, renunciation does the opposite. It releases everything that isn't that. And at a higher level of consciousness, it's our ability to say no to negativity altogether. You actually stop the negativity before it has a chance to take hold in your life when you reject anything that is not from Spirit. By avoiding things like gossiping, resentment, or fear, you keep the high watch for your consciousness. It brings us to the title of today's talk and the little book that inspired it, The Only Little Prayer You Need. Deborah Engel, the author of this book, has spent a great deal of time studying and teaching A Course in Miracles. Have any of you read this book? I highly recommend it. How many of you have been in A Course in Miracles at some point? So, A Course in Miracles, she cites when she says that our minds have two sides. The first side is the ego, which is pretty much like a 2-year-old child on speed, she says. Demanding, prone to tantrums and outbursts, and it runs on fear. The ego runs on fear. The other side is the higher self, which remembers that we are children of God. And it is gentle, quiet, and respectful, and communicates through whispers and nudges as it expresses and extends love. We live in a world that feeds our 2-year-old egos with fear, plenty of it, bombarded by fear-based messages every single day. If earthquakes, hurricanes, and floods don't get us, terrorism and criminal violence will, or maybe it's just the economy. And what about the judging that goes on for what we wear, how our hair looks, our home, our accomplishments, and on and on and on. But we can also feed our higher self, but that somehow doesn't always seem as interesting or exciting. By meditation and self-reflection, or times in nature, we feed this through much quieter pursuits. Engel says to think of it like this. Our inner essence burns brightly like an eternal flame, but it burns inside a glass lantern that's covered in dirt. And that dirt is the fear we actually have become addicted to. A Course in Miracles quotes Rumi as saying, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all of the barriers within yourself that you have built against it." And Engel says that all of the barriers come from fear-based thoughts, to which we're addicted. And therefore, there is one little prayer that is the only one you ever need. And that prayer is this: please heal my fear-based thoughts. Please heal my fear-based thoughts. Let's look at the characteristics of these fear-based thoughts and how they're so influential, easy for you to say, and pervasive in our lives. Fear-based thoughts express themselves in our bodies. Stress and worry contribute to physical ailments and then slow down, like some cosmic joke, then slow down the healing process. They anticipate a large percentage of things that never happen. The prayer will either make it go away because you'll let it go and relax, and it was never going to happen anyway. or it will go away over a period of time without your worry. Fear-based thoughts are overly dramatic. If I have a big problem, I must be of great value. Our ego simply can't accept that there's very little for us to do. But we don't need to prove ourselves to anyone, and the prayer enforces that. Fear-based thoughts create the very thing that we're afraid of. It's pretty simple. If you think something negative is going to happen, you start looking for it. The prayer, "Heal my fear-based thoughts," releases that and frees you up to look for and find all the blessings available to you. Fear-based thoughts keep us stuck. Instead of going out and creating our dreams, our fears, with the help of our ego, constantly make excuses like, it's not the right time, I don't know enough, I don't have the right degree, I don't have enough money, it's raining. And really, and they're all code for I'm afraid I'm not good enough. In general, fear-based thoughts, they keep us from experiencing life as the wonderful opportunity it is. These fear-based thoughts tune us to a channel where everything looks frightening, so that we could be in heaven itself and couldn't see it. So how is this prayer different from others? Unlike those in which we say things like, "Please keep my children safe," or "Please help me get a job," or "Please make my mom well." In all these prayers, we're asking for something or someone in our external environment to change. In this little prayer, "Heal my fear-based thoughts," you're asking for yourself and your thinking to be rearranged, believing that the result will be that the world around you will also be rearranged as a result of it. As an example, if your prayer is, "Please help me with this month's mortgage," you might actually feel some relief immediately about this month's mortgage, but almost instantly and compulsively, we're on to worrying about next month's mortgage and the months after, and what if I lose my job or my income, and on and on. If the prayer is, "Please heal my fear-based thoughts about my mortgage," it not only lifts the burden of the mortgage, it also releases you from the addiction that you have to be afraid. The need to grab back onto the burden as if your worry would do something to help. It puts your ego out of a job, and that's creating worry and drama around the mortgage or whatever it is. The more you do this, the easier it will get, and the fewer fear-based thoughts will remain until you can actually say the prayer, "Heal all my fear-based thoughts," knowing that it will work. So, let's try this. Did everybody get something to write on and have something to write with? We can turn the lights on now. Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take a few minutes, and I want you to write down. You're not going to have to share this with anybody, so this is just for you. I want you to write down every single fear-based thought big or little, that you can think of. Well, I know we have more paper if you need it. I know Parker's going on this. We have more. Some of you know yourselves really well. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to write down, you can put it in shorthand because it's only for you. Write down every fear-based thought that you are dealing with in your life right now that you can think of in a few minutes here. Okay.
Well, I don't have to, because my pen doesn't work. Keep scribbling with it,
Do we have, John, do you have some, her pen doesn't work.
Right here. Thank you. John? She stole me.
Okay, are we about done, or do you need a little more time? Looks like we're just about done for now. Okay, so what I want you to do now is I want you to hold these. We're going to have a little prayer here. So we're here to say, heal our fear-based thoughts. Heal our fear-based thoughts about finances. Heal our fear-based thoughts about relationships. Heal our fear-based thoughts about our work. Heal our fear-based thoughts about this spiritual community. Heal our fear-based thoughts about our health. We just ask that our fear-based thoughts be healed altogether so that we may have the wonderful life we are promised. And so it is.
And so it is.
Amen. So now I'm going to give you some homework. For the next couple of weeks until I come back again, I want you to start paying attention to every time you have a fear-based thought. And when you do notice, and I predict that as you do, you will more and more notice, I want you to pray the little prayer. Heal my fear-based thoughts. You don't even have to be specific. I'm going to read these because I know you can't see them from where you are. These are specific. These are ones on Deborah Engel's website that she suggested. As you do this, you can get more specific, but you don't have to be specific. Ideally, we can just say, heal my fear-based thoughts, and it will make a difference in our day. But for now, you're going to start noticing the specific things that happen to you and how much they're based on fear, how much your concerns and worries are about fear and not about the reality of life itself. So are you in? Can you do this? I know you can, but whether you want to or not is up to you. And I'll check in with you about it next time. So, why did we do this? Why focus on this prayer? Well, I promised you I'd read these to you. So, they are, please heal my fear-based thoughts so I can experience all the gifts of this day. Please heal my fear-based thoughts so I can experience life as a gift rather than a struggle. Please heal my fear-based thoughts so I can get outside my comfort zone and continue to grow. Please heal my fear-based thoughts so I can create positive ripples in the world. So, as Unitarians, I like to call us, some people object to her saying please in the prayer because it doesn't quite fit our affirmative prayer model. But this prayer is good whether you have a faith, whether you're an atheist, whether heal my fear-based thoughts, you're praying to wherever you get your strength. So she made it generic and she put please in there, which doesn't bother me at all, but in case it does you, just say heal my fear-based thoughts. So, we focused on this prayer because we're talking about the power of renunciation, which is exactly what this does, which we said was an entirely inner process. It's about releasing negative thoughts, feelings, and beliefs from your consciousness so that you can replace them with spiritual awareness. It's your ability to forgive and release others as well as yourself. And as I said, it literally creates a vacuum in your soul, a place to grow more spirit and more good in your life. This is an opportunity to call your attention again to my favorite Bible verse, because renunciation makes way for transformation. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." You are a perfect child of God just the way you are, whole, complete, and lacking in nothing. You will never be more spiritual than you are at this moment. You were born with all the spirit that you ever need. So make way for perfection rather than perfectionism. Make way for love over fear, love over hate, love over anger. Make way for all the blessings available to you by renouncing everything, every thought, feeling, and belief that does not align with your divine source. And you have a great tool now to do this. The only little prayer you'll ever need: heal my fear-based thoughts. Thank you. Get comfortable in the seat you're sitting in. And just take some nice, relaxed breaths. We are so blessed to be here today to partake of this spiritual food that is here when we come to join with a group of like-minded people to soak up the love and the joy and all the blessings that are just waiting for us. We thank you for all the tools we're given to grow spiritually. Thank you for this prayer. Thank you for the awareness that our lives can be better as we remember who we really are, as we connect completely to Spirit. We accept all of our gifts, all of our joy and peace. And we are so grateful. And so it is. Amen. Now